On a golden afternoon, in front of a mansion with marble steps and tall windows glowing in the sunlight, an elderly woman sat trembling on the stone path. Her voice broke as she pleaded for mercy, tears streaking her face while strands of her silver hair fell helplessly to the ground. Beside her knelt a younger woman, elegant in appearance, cruel in spirit, laughing as she sliced away more of the old woman's fragile hair with gleaming scissors. What no one realized was that inside that mansion lived a man of great wealth and stature. Admired by many, respected in business, he seemed to have everything. But that very moment, his world and his heart were about to be shattered. The old woman's name was Margaret Elwood, mother of the powerful financier Leonard Elwood. Though Leonard was a man whose name filled magazine covers and boardrooms, Margaret had lived simply, humbly, and always with kindness. Widowed young, she had raised her son alone, pouring every ounce of her strength into giving him a future. Now in her old age, her steps were slow, her hands trembled, and her hair had grown thin and frail. Yet despite her vulnerability, Leonard trusted his glamorous girlfriend, Vivian Hale, to treat Margaret with respect. Vivian, after all, carried herself with sophistication, at least in public. But behind closed gates, her charm dissolved into cruelty. With mocking words and a cold smile, Vivian forced Margaret into a chair, sneering at her ridiculous hair. Margaret begged softly, but Vivian only laughed, tightening her grip on the scissors. Each snip fell like an insult, leaving Margaret sobbing on the sunlit pathway. At that moment, fate intervened. Leonard returned home earlier than expected. His footsteps echoed across the driveway, briefcase in hand, his mind still on numbers and contracts. Then, he heard it, his mother's voice, fragile, pleading, breaking. The sound pierced his heart, pulling him back to nights long ago when she wept after his father's death. His chest tightened, and he rushed forward. What he saw stopped him cold. His beloved mother, hair scattered like fallen leaves around her, tears glistening on her cheeks, while Vivian stood above her, laughing with malice. The sight ripped through him. His briefcase crashed to the ground like thunder, silencing Vivian's laughter. Margaret whispered his name, trembling, and Leonard dropped to his knees beside her. He took her hands, his own voice cracking as fury and sorrow collided inside him. In that instant, he understood. All his wealth was meaningless if he couldn't protect the woman who had given him everything. Vivian stammered excuses, but Leonard's glare cut her words short. The mask she had worn in public was gone, and all that remained was betrayal. Without speaking, he ripped the scissors from her hand and cast them aside. Then, wrapping his arms around Margaret, he whispered promises that she would never again be left alone or unprotected. In the days that followed, Leonard put business aside to stay with his mother. No boardrooms, no contracts, just quiet meals, gentle care, and the simple devotion of a son who realized his greatest treasure was not his fortune, but her. The mansion, once filled with Vivian's false charm, became a sanctuary of love. Vivian herself vanished from Leonard's life completely, leaving only a scarred memory and a hard-learned lesson. Wealth may attract people, but only kindness reveals who truly belongs by your side. With time, Margaret's smile returned. Neighbors once again saw her in the garden, silver hair neatly tied with a ribbon, her eyes warm and bright. Often she walked hand in hand with Leonard, whispering that she was proud of the man he had become, not for his empire, but for his heart. For Leonard, that day marked a turning point. He came to understand that the greatest legacy he could ever build was not in business, but in love and compassion for those who mattered most. This story of Margaret and Leonard is a reminder. Cruelty, no matter how small, leaves wounds money can never heal. But kindness, genuine, selfless kindness has the power to restore broken hearts and reshape destinies.